but the only objective is the other should lose much more than me. So that is the kind of world we are in. And tariffs are obviously manifestations of all these developments that I just very briefly mentioned. One of the most interesting sectors which is witnessing a lot of impact of tariffs as a result of Trump's Liberation Day tariffs, that is, not only foreign auto firms within the United States are facing the heat, but even the local American players are facing the heat. So US firms like auto firms like GM, Ford, Stellantis, Tesla, all are getting impacted. So for example, Ford and GM, their shares price fell by 4.4 and 8.2% respectively post announcement of these tariffs. And it is being estimated that by the end of this year, every unit of car that is going to be bought by Americans, it will be costing $10,000 more than what it was last year in 2024. Now, half of vehicles in the United States is imported from the rest of the world, which are going to face tariffs. But interestingly, the rest that are being made in the United States, 60% of the auto parts are imported from other parts of the world. And so therefore, Asian firms, Japanese auto players like Mazda and Subaru are definitely feeling the heat. So car makers from Asia, similarly, South Korean players and Japanese players in this sector find themselves at the center of a U.S. Trade policy. So the Asian car manufacturers in the US are in trouble. So for example, Hyundai and Toyota both have invested more than $21 billion and $18 billion respectively. But their nightmare is this, that as they are investing today and they're ready to reap the fruits 4 years, 5 years down the line, you don't know what is the administration going to be, notwithstanding the uncertainties of TACO. Trump always chickens out, as we know. So if they invest, they don't know what's going to happen. And if they are not going to invest, then they are going to be behind they will be chasing the whole game. So they'll be falling behind, in other words. Now, as far as Chinese players are concerned, being someone who follows China, they are also, pretty much, coming up with new ways of dealing with this situation. So Chinese firms are now being compelled to set shops in third countries, the so-called connector economies that can bridge hostile gaps that divide China from West. So these connector economies, especially in Southeast Asia, like Vietnam and Singapore, have become very important places whereby they can try to go outside the radar of the US so that they are able to continue. In fact,